What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. It's now have Fox News' Judge Jeanine going off absolutely livid in this next clip, guys. And she's upset because Biden is making a complete embarrassment, making America look like a pushover on the global stage once again. In this next clip, guys, she's saying it's no longer funny, guys. It's sad and embarrassing. I'm excited to get into this clip, see exactly what Biden has done now. This guy Judge Jeanine so fired up, so we can get straight into the clips, and I'll get my thoughts on the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end, so I just get my thoughts on the back end, and also YouTube push this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. Yo, let's get straight into the news. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Yo, let's get into it, y'all.
He's put the elder in elder statesman. President Biden giving another embarrassing, brain-addled performance on the world stage while in Italy for the G7 summit. The big guy must have thought it was still D-Day. He awkwardly saluted the Italian prime minister who was hosting the event. Another startling moment, the president wandered away from the group of world leaders to go look at a skydiver and give them a thumbs up. Italy's leader was then forced to physically redirect the president's attention for a photo. Biden then holding a rare press conference with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Joe Biden sounding out of breath as he answered a question about his son Hunter's conviction.
I'm extremely proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know, and I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I'd abide by the jury decision, and I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
It's very interesting. Kevin, he says, and that wasn't asked of him, but he just said, you know, I'm going to abide by the jury's decision and I'm not going to pardon him. But he doesn't say anything about commuting his sentence.
Well, he has talked often about that pardoning issue. He gave that same address.
He's been very clear.
Yeah, very clear, no pardon.
Very clear.
And he was asked by the reporter over there about that. Listen, we've got 5 months of this campaign. We've got an 81-year-old running against a 78-year-old. I would be more nervous as a Democrat if it was Nikki Haley that we were running against or Ron DeSantis.
No, but what about the question I just asked about commuting the sentence?
Well, again, I think he's just addressed the pardon question. I don't think he's actually been asked about the commutation.
Do you think he'll commute the sentence? He says he loves him and he's proud of him.
I don't believe so. I mean, he's very clear on the pardon question. I think he'll, if he's asked about the commutation question, he'll answer that too.
I took that as answering both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has doubled down in those remarks in terms of the supporting, you know, a jury system in this country and the judicial process playing out. It was we were on outnumbered this week when the jury came back. It was a very clear statement in support of the judiciary. But again, we're going to have this split screen. We're going to see this debate in two weeks or so between the former president, the president, and, you know, it's going to be this dynamic playing out between two older gentlemen in this race.
You know, how do you compare them as two older gentlemen? On the one hand, we have Joe Biden over there. He's looking at someone, you know, who is skydiving and giving him a thumbs up, where the president or the prime minister of Italy has to pull him back with the leaders of the G7 to remind him why they're there. I mean, are the ages relevant?
Age is just a number. You know that.
And yours is unlisted?
Mine is unlisted. You know, Judge, you're a whippersnapper. I don't know how old you are, but doesn't matter. You have energy, just like Donald Trump. Joe Biden, there's too much going on right now to be wandering off in the middle of an Italian field. We just signed a 10-year deal with Ukraine and affirmed their future membership into NATO. What? What? And at the same time, we're going to allow American weapons in Ukraine to hit Russian targets inside their borders. That was a significant development. And then also China's selling dual-use tech to Ukraine. We just slapped a bunch of sanctions on them. The Russian Navy's doing port calls in Cuba, 90 miles off the Florida coast. What is going? And this guy's wandering around in a field? I don't know, Judge. I do know that the American people have kind of checked out on the Ukraine thing. We're just not really emotionally involved anymore. Celebrities aren't going there. Senators aren't going there. Journalists aren't going there anymore. Our checkbook's involved, but we have really detached ourselves from it. I don't think the American people would care one way or the other if Ukraine won this war and repelled Russia back into their borders, or there was a peace deal tomorrow. I think we'd be happy with both. But it doesn't look either of these things are going to happen, especially when an 80-year-old man's wandering around alone in Italian fields.
You know what's interesting about Biden's speech today, Dana, is that Biden starts by saying at the beginning of this war, he says something like 25 countries joined together to declare their support for Ukraine. And then he goes right into, and we're going to sign, just two of us, the United States and Ukraine, we're going to sign a deal to make sure that we invest in a Ukraine industrial base, that we provide them in the long term with defense weapons and ammunition, that we provide them for 10 years with intelligence and training, and that we continue to give them, I think, $50 billion. All this while Russia's got its ships in the Caribbean.
Okay, so he is at the G7's conference. We were, I think, the last country to make an agreement like this out of these 7. So I think that when President Trump really put the pressure on the NATO countries to pay more, and they started doing that, I think Biden has tried to continue it, maybe not as well, but they are all paying more because they're actually worried about the threat. So setting that aside, I do think that if I were the White House, I would have sent Kamala Harris to this meeting and let Joe Biden rest up and prepare for the debate. You're going to start seeing, I saw a little bit of it today, a little bit of things dripping out from Democrats who are concerned that he is not doing the prep that he needs to do for that debate that takes place 3 weeks from tonight. And all of them looked old and defeated except for the Prime Minister of Italy. And in fact, Biden's approval rating is sparkling next to theirs. He's at 37%. Justin Trudeau's at 30%.
Whoa.
Schultz of Germany is 25%. Sunak's at 25%. Macron is at 21%. Fumio Kishida's at 13%. Actually, most of these people that are there, except for Maloney, could be off the world stage in the next few months.
Wow.
Biden's sitting pretty. At
At 37%.
We will take it.
But you know, the sad part about this, Greg, is that the United States is supposed to be the world superpower, militarily the strongest, military. And yet we have someone on a stage that projects such weakness and such fear and such, it's almost like he's a pushover.
Yeah, I mean, Ukraine gets weapons and funds, and our American troops, they get diversity training and pride events. Where are the priorities? Right now, if you believe, this is what I don't understand. If you actually believe that Trump is this existential threat, right, the most consequential vote in our history is coming up, why are you running a feeble ghost of a candidate? Why would you treat this election so lightly that you put forth the weakest candidate in American history? If you believe Trump's a moral evil, you're abandoning your imperative, your moral imperative to put out a real candidate. I'm not even saying a good candidate. I'm saying a real candidate, which makes anyone with a brain wonder if they aren't that worried that Joe's going to lose, given his sorry state. What are they planning? What are they doing to save the day? What is up the Dems' sleeve to drag that body back into the White House? What's the dog that's not barking? And then let's say by some weird, miraculous chance that we didn't see coming, given that Trump is ahead, has a 66% chance of winning, looks like he's going to get the electoral count, and Joe still wins. Well, then what do you do after you win? How do you convince anyone that's real? Have they even thought of that? Like, even the Dems behind the scenes better hope he doesn't win because no one's going to believe it.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Judge Jeanine breaking it down for us very excellently right there. Newest update where she is going off. Joe Biden just not presenting a very good look or a strong look on America on the world stage, where we just seen Joe Biden wandering around aimlessly, having to be guided around by the Italian prime minister. I mean, it just doesn't make sense why Joe Biden is the guy that the left honestly believes is going to be the one that goes across the finish line later on this year. And that's what the judge is trying to point out right here. You know, this is no longer a funny joke that Joe Biden isn't capable. This is sad and one of the biggest embarrassments for America right now. I mean, you got to think, just like Judge Jeanine was saying, we're looked at as one of the world's superpowers and, amongst the top. And then we've got old low energy, stumbling, forgetting where he's at Joe, as the face and the head of our country, that's who's representing us. And it just doesn't look very good. This has brought the concern to Americans that, America is not as strong underneath the leadership as Joe. And if it's bringing that concern to Americans, you got to think of what, other world leaders are thinking. They're like, this is probably the time to strike. America's at their weakest point. They've got this whole pushover leader, Joe Biden, at its reins, and we can definitely get over this guy. He wouldn't even see us coming. This update was another one of those sad instances where we're seeing Joe Biden, wandering around getting lost once again. He's looking at skydivers, supposed to be, posing for photos in the press, guys. He's wandering around aimlessly at the G7 conference. I mean, come on. This is not who we want to be as the leader and the face of our country. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've already got other world leaders that are getting over on old Joe, right in front of our face. Where we're seeing the leader of Ukraine, Zelensky, is, time and time again coming at Joe Biden, asking for more and more money, just shoveling it in, bleeding the American tax dollar, dry. It's honestly astonishing to see this, the amount of money that Joe Biden is approving for Ukraine, and this guy doesn't even have a suit on at the G7 convention. This update right here just showed us that it is downright embarrassing and disrespectful to be trying to push that narrative to say that, a vote for Joe is a vote in the right direction for America, because we can see that he just wants to shovel out our money and he doesn't even know what's going on. So you guys definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts. What we just seen, guys. I've been seeing this a lot, that a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for Kamala Harris. Is this becoming true, guys? Definitely hop in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on what we're seeing, guys. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible. Share the truth. And also make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost one thing, you guys. Hit that like button for your boy, and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next week.